Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this group energy healing program. And I, first of all, am going to start off with helping you with your energy. So let's go ahead and just get very comfortable. And I'm going to be working on the fear paralysis point, which is at the base of your feet, the very bottom of your feet, right where the ball of your foot starts to blend into at the center, starts to blend into the arch of the foot. So just imagining that you are comfortable, grounded, connected to the earth, and that any excess energy that's not serving you, any old energy, can go down to the center of the earth. And fresh energy can head back up to that point on your foot as it connects in with the rest of your energetic bubble. So part of what we do is to make sure that our energy is not being impacted by other people. And as we encounter people in this world, they can try to dump their charge off on us. And, you know, it's like people in their desperation accidentally pulling the lifeguard under and having the lifeguard drown too, right? Everybody's just doing their best. Unfortunately, we've got tools like energy healing to help so that we can recenter and reground and we don't have to get sucked down with the rest of the people who are too afraid to try. And believe me, for many, many years, I was not willing to try this kind of work. So I'm a testament that anybody can change and that anybody can go from being scared to every day becoming braver and braver. So I'm just chatting you through as we have the two sides come into balance, the two hemispheres. Taking a deep breath in, just let that all go. Very good. Alrighty, and now we're going to move on to the emotional stress release points. Again, remembering that for each of you, you can do this for yourself at any time you need to. Probably about a 2.5, 3-inch gap between my fingers here as they rest at the base of my collarbone. If I were to do this on myself using the right hand for the lower part, because it has slightly more positivity than the left hand. And we want to draw up that positive energy from the earth. And then the other hand, again, that same kind of distance, whatever the distance is between the pupils of your eye, will be exactly the perfect spot, about an inch or so up on your forehead. But you don't need to do that now unless you want to, because I'm holding the points for the group energy field. And just getting in touch with your body, feeling comfortable, settling in, and allowing that golden grounding cord now to come from your tailbone heading down to the center of the earth as any old energy is discharged down there and fresh energy is brought up back to your tailbone to just be able to be used as your body needs it. Take a deep breath in and let that go. Great. Alrighty. So now we're going to move on to Bun meditation. And bringing up my handy sheet. I think everybody here has done it. So we're going to take a deep breath in, and I'll guide you through when it's time. And we're going to imagine the energy in the breath can go down to 3 finger widths below the belly button, which is the junction. That's what they call it. And then we'll hold the breath while moving the energy of the breath up to the crown chakra. And whenever you feel like you've had enough, before your heart starts pounding, before you start seeing stars, you release the energy upward like a purple smoke. And then continue the next time. We're going to do the same thing. It'll be at the throat chakra, and we're moving our way down. And the only other thing is to each time as I'm having you take a deep breath in, you're going to be following that in with a second breath to top off however much, like even just the slightest extra bit more helps to engage your parasympathetic nervous system, that vagus nerve. So now that you've got all the info, let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And at whatever point, that second one that you need to take, imagining the energy coming down here, and then both holding the breath while sending the energy to the crown chakra. And when you're ready, releasing that purple smoke upward. And just realizing that as you start, most of us are anxious enough. I was anxious enough that I couldn't hold my breath for a long time. I would feel kind of faint and dizzy if I tried. So when I started doing this exercise and taking that deep breath in, I was doing the two like that and having them come down together. But for those of you who've been doing a lot of yoga, you may find that you can go ahead and take a deep breath in that way, that you already have the breath capacity to be able to do a full double, no problem. So it's up to you. It's about what you can do and being grateful for your body for being at the point that you're at without judgment. Alrighty, let's take a deep breath in. Down to the junction, and then sending the energy of that to the throat. And when you're ready, it's released 360 degrees all around at the throat level, that blue smoke. Perfect. And just breathing normally in between. And when you're ready, taking a deep breath in. And a second. Energy is sent here while you hold your breath, that heart chakra. And when you're ready to release, 360 degrees all around, green smoke. All right, now we're moving on to the yellow chakra. That is our solar plexus chakra. So it's hard to see, but it is there. It's basically at the stomach level. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. Energy to the junction, and then hold the breath while sending the energy now to the solar plexus chakra. And when you're ready, that'll release 360 degrees all around as yellow smoke. Alrighty. So now we're going to go ahead and take a couple of breaths right here. This one, I always like to call attention to it because it can feel a little strange to come from the junction and go down. It's the only one where we do that. So go ahead and take a deep breath in. And whenever you want to top off, and send that energy down to that junction. And this time the energy heads down to the first chakra, to the red of that first chakra. And when you're ready, the energy will go downward, a little cone heading straight into the earth. Perfect. Alrighty. So now I get to read the goal, which is great. It's great to have a goal because we actually react to the goal. Any goal that our conscious mind makes is stressful for the parts of us that believe we're not worthy, not deserving, maybe have some karmic blocks preventing it, you name it. There's all sorts of aspects of self and other as well, because we can be holding ancestral information, we can be holding past life information. This is all, it's something that is impacting us whether we know it or not. So when we have a conscious mind goal, it could just be something like, I do great at my job, but that can totally stress us out because in some way we feel maybe we got a job that's better than we deserve, or that somebody else might deserve it, deserve more than we do, and we have a friend who's struggling, for example, and so we feel we can't do as well, because we were always taught to think of the other person before ourselves. But truly, we need to put our oxygen mask on first. We can't take care of anybody if we don't take care of ourselves. So that ability to really focus the self-love and go deeper and deeper into self-love then makes us more and more into people who are able to do good in the world, for people who are able to be of service to others. It supports our ability to be of service to others, and it supports our ability to not be a jerk. And I can tell you from personal experience that one time I tried to do a to get a gift for my then boyfriend, and um, I it was getting some coffee, and I walked off and left it because they took so long. I got my cup of coffee, and I left the bag of coffee behind, um, and I was just beating myself up about it, and ultimately realized in the course of the process of like learning about it that it was me putting pressure on myself by all of the negative self-talk that then was going to come out as negativity in my world. And who would have suffered the most? My boyfriend. So when we can be generous to self, when we can tell ourselves, you know, hey, I'm trying as hard as I can, and yes, I made a mistake, but I deserve a little grace so that I can be kind to others in my life, and I can be a good human towards other human beings today in my life. So that's kind of a good estimate of how kind we need to be to ourselves if we're not capable of being warm, wonderful, supportive human beings towards others. We're maybe missing a little self-love. All right, so I'm going to read the goal, and again, just getting back to that, some of you might feel a little tension in the back of your body, and that is normal. That's just your body saying, hey, that doesn't feel safe. Okay. So the goal is, I am healed in body, speech, and mind. I am comfortable in my body. I allow my body and my mind to learn from and let go of old stress and trauma. I am allowed to feel calm. It is safe for me to feel calm and peaceful in my body. I sleep deeply through the night, knowing everything always turns out marvelously well. My negative core beliefs are healed. My relationships are easy and peaceful. I stay calm throughout my day, even when provoked. My higher power supports me fully in this. I deeply love all of my inner children who are stressed and traumatized and who keep me from feeling calm and peaceful. I invite them home to my heart. I am purposeful and prosperous. My resources are generous and I share them with others. My parents and siblings want this for me. My extended family and friends want this for me. Society wants this for me. Um, so I will go ahead and now that we've activated any inner children who are up in arms about that being true because we don't deserve it in some way, I will just go into a little education about that. So I believe that our child mind is actually trying to be a hero. We hear a lot of things about how our subconscious is scary and dangerous, and we certainly see some actions that have happened from our subconscious that have maybe caused danger to us or others, harm to us or others. And I don't attribute that to maliciousness on the part of the child mind. I attribute that to the trauma of the child mind, that the child mind is trying to reinforce what it learned that we deserve. So if we grow up in a household where we are treated poorly, then we are looking to be treated poorly. And part of that might mean that we do things that are destructive to ourselves and others so that others don't like us, so that we maintain that level of woundedness throughout our adult life that we learned that we deserved in our child life. So blaming the subconscious is like blaming the victim, right? You don't want to do that. It doesn't make sense to blame the victim, right? We want to support the victim. We want to help the victim here. So it is willing to be rewired. It is super intelligent. It's just being held back in all these different ways by all these rules. But it can't rewire itself until it learns emotionally. And when it learns emotionally, then it can go, oh, I don't like that feeling either. But until then, it can't receive the feeling and it can't learn the lesson behind it. And feelings are our social survival skills. So it can't let go of anything. It has to stay in the body. And it's like if we were born, and so we have like a bathtub in our house, and this is like our body, right? But we never clean the tub. We never let the water go, and you can imagine what we're swimming in right now. So that's why it's important. Neurochemicals are inflammatory in quantity. Emotions are neurochemicals. And so when the older we get, the more of them there are. And inflammation can lead to disease. So let's do something that supports our health by feeling a feeling, even if you can only handle a little bit because it feels so toxic. You're giving your body some information that it needs to be able to rewire itself so that you can have a more stable, positive, upward spiral of growth and healing. Um, so there's a psychologist by the name of Dr. Gay Hendricks, who's actually based in Ojai, who talks about the upper limit problem and the comfort zones of the subconscious. So when we're growing up in a traumatic childhood, the bar is set lower about what the subconscious will allow, that what that child mind feels comfortable with. And it doesn't want to go into our zone of genius. Maybe it learned as a child you did an incredible drawing or something incredible in art, or maybe you sang something incredible. And maybe it activated some really nasty behavior in other people who were jealous. in some way. All of us have activated other children's jealousy, or maybe even family members' jealousy. And we learn that it's not safe to go there. Maybe it was grades. It's a lot of different things. So we learn as a subconscious rule, oh, when we go above this zone of doing well, all hell can break loose and we can be completely traumatized by it. So we're not going to go there anymore. That's what it wants. It just knows that we can survive emotionally in this little zone of from competence to excellence, but it can't go into genius, like that purpose, that life purpose that you're here for, that feeds your soul, that makes you feel like you have a purpose in life and you're giving back and you're part of a collective in a way that feels amazing. And it also doesn't want to go too low unless we've had an incredible amount of trauma, in which case a lot of people will go there. And I think a lot of people who are struggling with sobriety have tend to have more of that lower level, that comfort zone is a little bit lower than what they would want for safety, right? So it's about sending love to that and saying to the child mind, oh, we're not doing that anymore. I understand now why you thought that we needed to go there and why you were trying to send us in that direction over and over again so you could learn the emotional lessons of the past. But yeah, I'm the good parent now, and I have to say that you are worth it. You are worth it as just a breathing member of humanity. You are part of the collective, and we need every single one of us to just be working on raising our vibration a little higher, believing in ourselves a little bit more, loving ourselves a little bit more day by day. So let's see, we're going to go ahead into we're about to go into the emotional clearing. Just want to say that the child mind, I believe, can call in life events over and over again on a theme. So if you notice something comes up where you have a feeling of loss, you might see that there's loss all through your life, and each time it seems to be amplifying. It's because these things that happen in our lives are supposed to keep us awake to feeling the feelings, not resisting the feelings. And ideally, we would just be going, oh, okay, so I need to learn about loss. And even, for example, even though society has rules for what men are allowed to feel, I can allow myself to feel that in the privacy of my home, and I can still love myself for having a feeling that perhaps society would judge me for. And the same thing with women. I've had people in this group reach out to me and say, hey, I'm really having a hard time feeling anger. It's because we were taught that it means that we're not good humans. We have failed at being a woman if we are angry. We're taught, there's like nasty words for women who are angry, right? It's like shrew. Shrew's a good one, right? So we're afraid of experiencing the feeling, and it in turn then just accumulates. And so the people who are the kindest, the people who are, outwardly doing what society wants, are suffering the most inside. And so I ask you to give yourself some grace and just continue to work on loving yourself, even if you think you can't bear what you might find. What I have found is that it just means ultimately that you get to spend more time in peace and joy. We are so much more than just our human selves. We are energetic beings, and I don't try to make sense of what that means in its entirety. I'm assuming that it would probably boggle my poor pea brain a little too much. So I've decided that I don't have to know. I don't have to figure that out. I can just um, know that in the entirety of what the experience is, I'm evolving towards love and I'm doing my best. And I believe by you doing the same thing that we bring more good into the world and we help to shift the world out of its woundedness a little bit more for each of us who does this kind of work. So, with that, let's go ahead and figure out the emotional stuff. Okay, so I'm just looking that up. So, this is an ancestral feeling. Okay, so this is a feeling of suspicion, an ancestral feeling of suspicion. Um, and it could be, something as simple as um, just the body not being allowed to, or feeling that if we don't let it learn that feeling, that it can't allow itself to be rewired. And sometimes the body, the child mind and body have these kind of um, ways of controlling us. So, as the conscious mind, we don't realize, but we can be sent feelings in order to limit our behavior, that in a way that the child mind feels it has to in order to fulfill its programming. So, again, the child mind is doing the best it can, but it's basically sometimes been given almost a self destruct mission. And it's using tools that are against the conscious mind knows are against our best interests, but it doesn't realize that. It just realizes that mommy and daddy might be angry if it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. So it's on autopilot, and mommy and daddy might have died a long time ago, but it's still wreaking havoc in our life right now. So it might send something like suspicion in order to prevent us from continuing to try something like energy healing. Thoughts like, is this really working for me? Is this really safe? Is this really, what is this? And just sending that love and knowing that the child mind is actually asking for help to get rid of this as a way of pulling the wool over our eyes. It had to trust us enough that it could say, hey, we've got this program and it's running and it's causing a problem. And I trust that you will think kindly of me, conscious mind, good parent, that you will just be grateful that I've been honest here today with you. And so just send that love and know that it's a step up the vibrational ladder, a huge step. Great. So that's balancing out. We have another feeling. Also ancestral. Let me check that out. Um, ulcerate. So that kind of almost obsessive worry that people can have, where it's focused, hyper focused in the stomach. So we're working through this feeling, sending it love, noticing in your body any sensations that come up head to toe, and just realizing that um, feelings can be things that can make inhabiting our body feel so difficult that we just want to live from our heads up. But that here's a way in which that we can again feel these feelings, notice perhaps this time that, or maybe for most of us, there'll be feeling of something in the stomach area, and sometimes not. It's anything from head to toe. But just knowing that the tendency to stress to the point where we might feel something wrong in our stomachs, that we might worry ourselves sick, that we needed to learn that in order to be able to have a higher vibration. And so now the child mind is willing, thanks to your cooperation, to be rewired. And taking a deep breath in and letting that go. Great. All right, so that's it for the feelings. We are going to go ahead and do a chakra reset. Okay, at chakra 9, you might have a sense of universal energy coming in. It could be colors, it could be a sense of vibration. But just asking for that chakra to be reset for everyone. It is something that the child mind can do. It can basically detach from energy sources in order to prevent the energy of success or whatever coming through to us. So in this case, it would be, to have the ability to stay calm no matter what, and everything related to our goals of healing from PTSD and stress and trauma. So now we're able to just let that go, let that chakra do its thing and come back online, knowing that the child mind is happy, it's been rewired, doesn't have to pull it offline again. Great. Taking a deep breath in and letting that go. Great. Okay. Then we're going to integrate inner children. We're going to, I'm just going to say again, some of you might not be ready for this, and in which case, you just imagine yourself in a beautiful, safe place while the rest of us, do the exercise. If it doesn't feel safe for you to proceed. And eventually you'll be able to join us with time. Just knowing that sometimes the child mind needs to feel safer with us as that positive parent if we've been very negative or basically believed the Kool-Aid that we were served by our family growing up, that we had to survive. A lot of people that I know who have problems with this believe that they were the problem in their childhood. Their parents had them believe that if only they weren't angry, the child wasn't angry, then the family would have been fine, so that the child becomes the issue. And hopefully with this kind of work, you'll be able to eventually get to the point where you realize that this was all a setup, through the limits that our parents have from their background, their karmic reality, all that kind of stuff, that they were doing the best they could, and obviously it wasn't good enough, and they have separated you from yourself in a way that uh, in your highest and best interest you will hopefully pursue. Everybody has their own autonomy to decide to pursue it or not, but um, positive, happy people are more productive, give back more to society, and um, are able to heal the past. So I hope that you'll be able to join us at some point. And also for those of you who I moved too fast for, please go to the fourth oldest group stress video at 49 minutes and 55 seconds long. At minute 35 and 21 seconds, you will find a slower run through and explanation of how to bring your inner children home if they are not cooperating. So if they don't cooperate in this session, bring home the ones who are willing, and then go pull up that old video. So go ahead and imagine yourself in a beautiful, safe place. And we have 5,000 inner children from birth to the present day. And imagining them in a beautiful, safe place, and that you can walk up to them and say hello. And either out loud or in your head, you can be saying this. Tell them, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were here all alone. I came as soon as I heard. I'm you, all grown up. We've survived and we've thrived. Your home is in my heart. Come home to my heart. And show them pictures of you between the ages of birth to the present day so they know that you've survived. Probably about a half a dozen pictures. And then ask them if they're willing to come home to your heart. Some of you might not get a voice in response. You might just have a sense of them smiling or nodding, or a feeling of positivity in your body. If so, let's go ahead and tell them to shrink down points of light and start to head home to your heart. It's the home of all integrated emotional experience. You might have a sense of shimmering or vibration in your body as they start to move, and that is your fascial train activating to release them as they begin their journey, so they can begin their journey. And as that begins to feel complete, take a deep breath in and breathe out a buttery yellow light of self-compassion to every cell in your body. And when you're ready, take another deep breath in. And this time, when you breathe out, send out love and gratitude to every layer of you that cooperated here today. Great. Alrighty. So now I'm going to remove negative energies. I'll be quiet for about a minute or so. That's great. So now it's time for gratitude to yourself for showing up, to your subconscious for working with you, and for your higher power for always being there for you. Gratitude confirms that you like the direction that you're going in. Alrighty. So if anyone wants to turn on video, unmute, have whatever combination of the above, and talk about what you noticed, always welcome. Otherwise, uh, we can just go ahead and continue on our day. It's up to you, folks. But I do thank you all for coming today. Ha. I said, hey, lovely people.
I'm here. Thank you so much. Yeah. Hi, David. Hi, Yulia. Hi, Aisha. These are friends of mine from our two-way prayer meeting.
Lovely.
And John, cool. Yeah, thanks. I feel better. And I feel like there's a teenager in me, but I'm also realizing that I have a bit of arrested development. So I think it's a combination of me, maturing and also integrating with my inner children.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all good.
Yeah.
I feel safe. I just feel like
Bye, Yulia.
somebody told me once, it takes time to know that it takes time. And I like that suggestion, like you said, at some point, Liz, going easy on myself and just being aware that, I tend to want everything all at once. And I think that's a bit childish too. Cut corners, not have to do the work. And coming here just teaches me that, and whatever it takes, I'm going.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes, like techniques of doing, like actually at the beginning of the meeting, I had to do a difficult task and I was able to do it because I was on here and I was safe. And I just, I plug forward. Maybe it's two steps backwards, and that sounds cliche too, but you know what I mean? Like I just have to go easy on myself and go, oh, I made a little progress on that today.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. It's those small wins.
Yeah, somebody that does a leadership program that I've attended before was talking about aim for 51%, which is really, really hard for a perfectionist. But perfectionism is about, it's another tactic of the upper limit problem to shut us down. We get to be
I love that
imperfect.
upper limit problem. Yeah, that I call it, I think I was telling you that yesterday, this that I'm not so much afraid of being small and unseen and all that. I'm afraid of being fabulous. And when I go out into the world, sometimes I kind of overshoot the mark on that too. Like I think I want to be revered too, and that separates me from you. Like
Mm,
I'll have an attitude or an outfit or whatever that separates me. But like I said, all of it just kind of has to be okay. Like just kind of probing and looking at these things like that can be enough. Like, oh, I just looked at it today. Maybe I didn't have like an epiphany, but like, just being willing to honor these parts of myself that I really would like to change. And I guess, in a 12-step program, they call that like asking God to remove your character defects. Like just
mhm.
looking at these defects isn't a great word, but you know what I mean? Like these
Yeah,
character flaws that I need to sometimes ask for spiritual help or guidance from a mentor like you or my colleagues. and
yeah.
and
There's no doubt that whatever you call your higher power can take the burden. It's
For
amazing
sure. Hmm.
how we can take that burden. And then so the damage I notice happening is when we can't, uh, like we can't handle having those flaws, and we have to like sort of, we can kind of hyper focus on it and just hate it and hate it, and that's when we go to sleep at night and it goes unconscious and then it starts wreaking havoc. So it's about how can we love that and hand it off at the same time for healing on a universal, godlike, level, but also that we aren't interfering on the human level with what the structures of the brain are, from having that, that not being nurtured by love and compassion.
Oh, you're still recording.
Oh,
Do you like to stop recording at a certain point?
yeah.
I don't mind, but yeah, and I think it's about that